can share it. There we go. So, first things first, my computer is freezing, so nothing new there. There we go. So for you guys, the target student data for December is due. So like Max and Matt, I know you're not in school yet, but when you get back, if you didn't have Mel sign December's hour tracking, go ahead and get her to sign that and submit it. We're going to try, because it's a new tool, we're going to try hitting for January that we get into a schedule that the last week of the month you guys are submitting those. So I'll start sending out calendar invitations for that as well. And yeah, so if I'm still missing the November one from you guys as we get into next week, then there has to be a write-up put into your member file just because it's been so long past due. And that's going to be the same thing moving forward as things are late and there's only so much of a grace period we can offer. We'll have to do the disciplinary write-ups, which essentially you get 3 of those before it's a formalized warning.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, one second. I guess the email that I sent out earlier said tomorrow, so some people thought that I actually meant Saturday. So hold on one second.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't send until this morning because I sent it yesterday.
Oh, I got it. Wait, I got one.
Yeah, I got it like at noon.
Yeah,
I think I got mine on Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in that email because some people were emailing me back and they're like, "Are we meeting tomorrow?" But I definitely sent it yesterday, but I guess it didn't go through. Click on the link. Oh man. Well, what a good first day back with all these technical difficulties. Very fitting. All right. So just relationship check-in. I can see Allie just hopped on. I think Jordan's trying to get on too. So we'll go bottom up. So Sam, if you want to do a relationship check-in now that you're back at school, and then for Matt and Max, you can just do the last week that you were in school when we get to you. But Sam, if you want to go ahead and check in on everybody.
Yeah. So everything's been going pretty good since I've been back. I've talked to Val like very briefly, but I've been emailing her and I've been talking to Eric. Anything with Eric has been really good. Like we just had a meeting this morning. Like he's always on top of it and has my back.
Great.
And then target students, actually I'd say it's been going really well. This was also kind of nice to hear from Eric, but during our meeting, he told me that teachers have been talking to like the principal and the vice principal saying that the students that I do have been getting a lot less referrals and they're seeing like positive change. So it's just nice that like people are seeing the change and like the effort of the relationship and it's actually working. So yeah, I'd say it's been pretty good so far.
That's awesome. I'm excited to hear that. Great. So that's Sam. Let's go to Max.
Yeah. So site supervisor good, program manager good. Target students. The last 2 weeks of December was pretty tumultuous. Okay. They did this thing called Dad's Day, which was really isolating for pretty much my entire caseload.
Okay.
So just putting out a lot of flyers in terms of why didn't Dad come, or why is Dad not in my life anymore? Why did Dad leave? So it was really challenging, but there was a lot of headway that was made for a lot of my target students, and including myself. It was like revisiting my parents' divorce at the same time, where I was watching these 9, 10-year-olds go through it, and I was like, holy crap, this was really hard at that age, and I'm seeing it all over again. So the last 2 weeks were really emotionally draining and charged, but it was good, and a lot of growth happened for my kids as well as me.
Okay, that's awesome. I don't know if you saw, there's actually, I'm not sure where it was, but it was shared. Something like that happened at an inner city school, and they knew dads wouldn't come, and they put out a call to action, and they needed like 50 males from the community to step
Yeah.
up, and like 600 showed up.
Oh, that's
Oh,
incredible. That's so cool.
Yeah. So, wish that had the same outcome for you guys, but yeah, that was just something that
Yeah, me
happened
too.
kind of I was in another state, I believe, but that was just kind of like a neat to see a community come together just for the kids. Because yeah, you're right. It's definitely those events can be isolating for the folks that don't have anyone there to represent them.
Yeah, I mean, in the entire class, 2 dads showed up, which was just, yeah, really, really hard for all of the kiddos.
Yeah, that is tough. I'm glad you were there though. I'm sure that was comforting for a lot of them to have somebody in their corner.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, moving up to Matt. How are your last couple of weeks at the school?
I would just kind of echo what Max said. For me, Dad's Day wasn't like quite like that. I think with second graders, it just doesn't sink in quite the same way as maybe with the older kiddos.
Right.
But yeah, so it's been good. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to add. Max kind of covered it all, I would say.
Okay. And then Allie, are you also caller one?
I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
guess
you
so.
are. Your mic's lighting up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but it says Allie next to mine.
I think you're also caller one, so I don't think anyone else is on the call.
Oh.
So that's okay. If you just want to check in on how things went your last couple of weeks of school, or how it's going now if Basalt's back in session.
Yeah. I got to see my kids yesterday since the break. My site supervisor is the counselor at the school, so we've talked a few times about how these transition times can be really hard on our kids. And I definitely noticed that right before leaving, and then yesterday coming back. So it's sort of similar to the dad day where it's hard to ask them like how their Christmas was because they might not necessarily have had a great Christmas or a good break.
Right.
So that's something I realized I have to pay attention to, or at least be aware of. Program manager, everything's good. I didn't really get to see my site supervisor yesterday because our meetings are usually on Mondays.
Okay.
And we were both just really busy yesterday. So we'll see each other on Monday. My target students. Yeah, maybe like a third of them were gone yesterday. I think still like traveling or whatever they're doing. Some of them seem pretty excited to be back in at least a structured setting. But yeah, I think a lot of them had a really tough break, and that's hard to hear because they're so young, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all.
All right. Jordan, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Perfect. I got your message. You're on a shuttle, but while you have service, if you want to do a quick relationship check-in just with how your last few weeks of school went before the break, how it was going with your site supervisor, your program manager, and your kiddos.
Sure. So I told y'all last week I had a holiday party for my students, and I also work with a part-time mentor at my school, and we had kind of like threw it together, and it was a lot of fun. But really looking forward to going back. I've got kind of a, scheduled curriculum plan going on. And I asked my students before I left to think about some goals that they would want to have in the new year. And I kind of did that so, not only to give them time to think about it, but also to see who really did care about their goals and what they want to work for, and who's like, I could go without it.
Right.
So I think that's where I am.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Tara hopped on. Tara, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. We're just doing a little bit of relationship check-in. So if you want to talk a little bit about how your last few weeks of school went right before the break, just with our 3 target areas.
Site supervisor went fine. We had this big like event for our like mentor. Oh, that's our program manager. Just kidding. Okay, well, site supervisor, it's fine. It's the same as it was the last time we met. We're going to start meeting weekly, which is cool. I do feel slightly bad for her because it was like her just understanding the requirements of the role, but I kind of feel bad because I feel like we added another thing to her plate, but that's just the way it goes. And then and so we have a weekly meeting set up, so that's cool. I don't really know what we'll do or what it will entail, but you know, okay, cool. And then program manager is fine. She's, as she always has been, and she's usually pretty much on top of stuff. No real changes. Like I said, we had a really big event for our program, our host program in our school, to showcase all the work the kids have done for the last year, and it was also kind of like a mini fundraiser through the school. And then target students going really well. I feel like I'm getting really close to a couple of my target students. Just trying to learn the things that they like and incorporate that into kind of like our little sessions, like whether it's drawing or, you know, playing wall ball or whatever. And just kind of giving them an outlet. I think that they're trusting me. They've already expressed that they're not happy. Like, they ask me all the time if I've changed my mind and am staying, and like how long I'll be around, and you know, if I'll be there next year. And one of my kids, I told him, and he said, will you maybe write me a letter? I'll write you back. And I said, of course, like that would be awesome. I love writing letters, and the number of my kids are so kind. I mean, they're troubled, but they're so kind. So trying to help them understand that I won't be around past, you know, early summer. So that's tough, but at least I'm open with them now. It doesn't like hit them like a freight train come later. And yeah, so it's going okay. I'm excited to get back into it. It's going to be a crazy semester. Just with Kai had responsibilies and mentoring responsibilities. It'll be fun, but it's going to be intense.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like everyone is kind of had a good break and ready to transition back. I think for the folks that aren't back in school, Allie had a really great point that just be prepared that asking the kiddos how their break was might not yield the most happy answers. So I think that's a really great point that Allie brought up, is just when you're doing your check-ins, once you get back into the school, is just kind of being prepared that some of them might not have had the best Christmas, some of them might not have celebrated or seen family. So I think that's just something really to keep in mind and start preparing for how you're going to navigate those conversations. But glad to hear everyone had a great holiday. And we can move to the next one. Yeah.
One thing that I read that I thought was a good idea about like working with kids in these predicaments is that instead of being like, how was your vacation? It's like, I'm so excited to see you back at school. Like, what are you most excited? Like, what are you most excited to do this semester? Or like, what makes you most excited about being back at school?
And that's a great point.
Yeah. Like, it might be their friends, or, you know, it could be anything, but at least it's focusing on the now and like the future. I don't know.
No, that's great. I think helping them get excited about what's to come is a great way to kind of channel that frustration they might have that they didn't have a great holiday. But great point to say, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to? And using your mentorship to really guide them into some exciting things that might be coming up.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing, you guys got a very lengthy email from me towards the end of the year about professional development. We took what you put in. We also asked your site supervisors and your program managers to weigh in. Overwhelmingly, it was let's not do 4-hour Fridays anymore. We're going to move to 2 hours being the longest. The goal for these moving forward on Friday, and we'll get into this more in our next meeting, is that on the shorter days when we're just doing check-ins, the expectation is that you're still serving afterwards. So it's not Friday afternoons are a day off. It's more that you are either able to go back into the school or you're using that time to do administrative tasks. I apologize if you can hear noises in the background. It's my dog grunting and rolling around like a maniac. If you guys can hear that. So we'll get more into that in our next meeting, kind of talking about scheduling, but hopefully this will work out better for you guys. A lot of you were saying that those 4-hour Fridays, no matter how interesting the content was, when you hit hour 3, it was hard to just stay checked in. So the Friday schedule, I know for ChiHad, the folks serving in Denver, that you guys are having a more structured approach to school programming on Fridays. Unfortunately, that was the best time for the entire group. It was also the preference of site supervisors and program managers to keep it on Friday. So I'm hoping that with this schedule change and your programming that you'll never miss a full day. You may have to go late, but we'll work on that as it comes. We'll also be alternating the check-in and the sessions, not doing the full check-in every single Friday. And then the big thing is, if you haven't already accepted the calendar invitations I've sent out, make sure that you do that. And then if I sent it to either your personal email or your agency email and you want it sent to the other one, let me know. Again, we talked about it earlier when it comes to those disciplinary write-ups. If you miss more than one Friday, either a check-in or a session, so if you miss 2 without notifying me, you'll get a write-up put in your member file. And that's, again, something that came out of that audit we had with Serve Colorado, that we have to be doing disciplinary actions, that we have to then move away from just unlimited warnings. So if you can't make a Friday, we know things come up, but you're going to have to let me know in writing. So you can text me still. I know a lot of you guys just text me because it's easier. You can text me or email me. Just have to have it in writing that you're going to miss a Friday. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right.
Gotcha.
Sarah, did you say my name? I think I heard your voice.
Yeah,
No.
sorry, other people were talking too. I just wanted to ask a question. I don't know if I have seen them come through, and I can totally go back and look, but I think that I know I asked that any of the presentations so far, that if there was a conversation with the presenters and we could like have the web like our training or whatever, just to go back and look. And then also going forward that if we do have to miss a Friday, you know, can we, or part of a Friday, can we like have those links so that we can still watch and like know the knowledge that everybody else got to learn?
Yeah, so they're all on Mentor Colorado's YouTube page.
Oh, okay. I just go there then. That's fine.
Yeah, so so I'm recording this one right now for folks who can't be on this training or this check-in, excuse me. So we're going to start recording them every Friday and then posting them to the YouTube page.
Okay.
When Mentor Colorado has a training director coming on board, and he'll be doing a couple of trainings, and so you guys will get to meet him and get to know him. He'll also be able to have follow-up conversations. Not all our presenters we're going to have direct contact to, but for a lot of them, when we can, we'll also encourage them to share out their contact information. I think a lot of the folks who have gone recently have also shared out that contact information for you all. So we'll do a better job of capturing that and sharing it out as well.
Okay, cool. And so you're saying that our guest presenters' content is on Mentor Colorado? Their presentation?
Yeah, so they might not all be there from last year because we had a lot of technical difficulties. When the presenters they have the capability in GoToMeeting. Sometimes we saw when you all were trying to present and we shared those capabilities, the recording stopped for whatever reason. So not all of them are there, but moving forward, I'll be logged on as the presenter. I'll record the entire session, and we're not going to toggle back and forth between the capabilities so that we can have one continuous recording.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
What's the channel called on YouTube? Is it under Mentor Colorado?
Yep. Should just be Mentor Colorado.
Oh.
All right. So timesheets. A lot of you guys have been submitting late timesheets. And I think one point of confusion was that folks think if they are on vacation, so if you guys went home for the holidays, or you're sick, or you didn't go to school on Monday, or you're at home, meaning you're away from your service site or your agency, that for whatever reason the timesheet then can be postponed. That is not the case. Even when you are on vacation or you're homesick, timesheets are due every single Monday at midnight. And kind of the theme of this is for every unnotified late submission, you'll get one of those disciplinary records placed in your file. And this is because we're held accountable, Mentor Colorado, for all of your timesheets. So every time your timesheet is late, and that then makes the site supervisor approval late, we are responsible for that. So moving forward, there is no more exceptions. We've kind of had 3 months to get used to the process. So moving forward, every time your timesheet is not submitted by Monday at midnight, it'll be a disciplinary record unless I've heard from you. So same thing, if you are in the hospital or your internet goes out, if there's any extenuating circumstance that will keep you from submitting your timesheet on time, send me a text, send me an email, just put it in writing, letting me know it's going to be late, and that will be totally fine. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. I take everyone's silence to mean they're excited about that role.
Yeah, I totally goofed it on this last one when I was on
Yeah, we're
vacation.
good.
I apologize.
That's okay. So next week also, we're going to review compliant hours. We've had lots of conversation. I've had conversations with your site supervisors and your program managers on what is compliance. The best example was, can you read a book and it be professional development? Can you have a webinar or a podcast? Or if I'm at the school, is that compliant? There's a lot of nuances when it comes to compliance. And so next week, or excuse me, the next time we have our check-in, we're going to dive a bit deeper into that to say, here's really what your hours should be to keep them in compliance. And a note on that, I have trained all of the site supervisors. So all of your site supervisors now have gotten formal training to say, maybe we missed this at the beginning of the year, but let's review really what's the expectations. I heard a lot of you say your site supervisors approached you to now start scheduling weekly meetings. So that is a requirement of their position. So it's great to hear a lot of them are following up on that. And we also reviewed really how they can be supporting you. So I know a lot of you had voiced in the past that you felt your site supervisor wasn't very familiar with their role and expectations. And so hopefully the trainings I did right before the holidays can kind of help answer a lot of those questions for them. Okay, MLK Day. I just got the logins this morning for Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. So when we wrap up today, I'm actually going to start with that intro post. Thank you, Allie, for creating a couple of images that were easily shareable. If anyone else is interested in creating content for your campaign, I would love to see it. I'll start sharing things twice a week. I encourage all of you guys to follow Mentor Colorado and like and comment and share it all and really follow along. Hopefully a lot of our agencies, an intro email went out the week after Christmas. Brad sent it to all 65 of our agencies, inviting them to participate and explaining really the dual roles that you guys had set up for this campaign. I I wanted to check in and see if any of you guys were actually planning on doing the day of implementation that you guys had discussed.
The in-person event?
Yeah, the in-person. If anyone was planning on taking part in that.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, me too.
And we have a mandatory service day for Chi-Had. So we'll be serving, and I think that, Max, is that how are you rolling it in that way?
I didn't know we had one of those for Chi-Had.
We do. We have a mandatory. We have the school. The day our school is closed that day, but we have a mandatory service day where we will be. It was jumbled into an email Stephanie sent out. Oh man, at the beginning of December, just reminding us. Hang on one second. Sorry, I am driving back to Denver from Houston. So it was jumbled in that email that she sent about like upcoming dates or whatever. So maybe we'll just gather on that and maybe figure out a way to roll it in or do like a partial day with like our Mentor Colorado initiative. Because if you're going to do that, I would like to do it with you. In sorts. It depends on what you're up to, I suppose. But if there's room for one more. Yeah. Are you there?
What?
Oh, did you hear me?
Part of it. Sorry, I got interrupted with a phone call and I hung
Oh,
up.
that's okay. So anyways, I was just saying that we have a mandatory service day, and I'm not sure the exact details, but we can get them from Stephanie and then work a way into combining our Mentor Colorado kind of initiative with that service day maybe.
Okay. Do you think we could talk to her about maybe just doing this MLK thing?
Yeah, that would be cool too. I'd be fine with that. I just don't know what she has planned. And yeah, let's kind of maybe.
I feel like they have plenty of staff to be able to go ahead and do that, whereas we need to. This is something that we created, and I feel a little bit more passionate in pursuing it rather than that. And I feel like she'd be pretty understanding. But
yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
We'll
I think as long as we're serving in one way or another, I think she would be pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Caitlin, I have some images with hashtag thingies to send to you. I never sent them to Allie. Allie, I'm sorry. I'll send them to you this weekend, Caitlin.
Okay.
Sorry.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So anyone else that sorry, I'll ask you as a question. Is anyone else planning on doing the in-person part of the MLK project?
Yes, I think Claire, Michaela, and I are going to do something together for that as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I will post a lot of stuff starting today, and we're hopeful that our agencies will start sharing it as well and posting their own content. So I just encourage you guys to check it out. Also, if anyone uses Twitter and wants to explain to me how to use Twitter offline, hit me up, because I don't know.
Caitlin, my phone was on mute by accident, but I'm also doing something in person. The buddy program is doing a recruitment thing, but I'm trying to meet with like different nonprofits in the Valley and use that as like recruitment time as I meet them. So
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get to questions, just kidding. Just an update. I will actually be traveling on Martin Luther King Day, and I'm going to Aspen. So I will be probably in Aspen, Allie, the 17th or 18th. I'll let you know as I finalize with the Delta folks what day works best for them. But that week I will be in Aspen and Delta. Denver, I'll either be coming to you guys that Friday or the following week. You guys, Mel and Stephanie, will all get an email with a couple of date options. And I will be going over, just full disclosure for all you guys, this particular visit with everyone is going to be around compliance. So I'll be meeting with you guys. I'll be meeting with your site supervisors and your program managers. they have all self-evaluated how they feel they're doing on compliance, and I'll be meeting with everyone. For you guys, it's just support and open and honest conversation one-on-one with me about how your term of service is going, and then with your support staff, it's more delving into, are they in compliance, where are they suffering, and then how can we support them to become compliant. The other thing for you guys to know is today's Friday, so not this week. Starting next week, you're going to get a member evaluation. This is something that you're going to complete, your site supervisor will complete, your program manager will complete, and I'll complete. So we're all completing the same evaluation. Obviously, for you guys, it's a self-evaluation. For all of us, we will be evaluating you, and then I'm going to share the results with each of you with all the data compiled. So you can actually compare where you self-evaluated and where your support staff are evaluating you in a couple of key areas. After that, towards the end of January, if you feel like there's an area, doesn't necessarily have to be included in your self-evaluation, but if there's also an additional area that you feel you aren't getting supported for any reason, I'll be having individual meetings with your site supervisors and program managers to discuss the evaluation on how we can support you. And then also, again, if there's any area that you feel you need more support, we'll be talking about how the three of us can come together to support each of you individually. Cool?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Do you guys have any questions for me? Don't everyone ask at once.
Nope.
No questions.
Sounds good.
All right. So next Friday, we're back just doing a check-in. And then after that is when we will start getting into our professional development. I think one of the first ones is around quality mentoring relationships. And then I believe the next one after that, I don't want to lie to you, I'm not positive what the next one is after that. But their first one, I believe, on the 19th is going to be around quality mentoring relationships. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I'll start posting your MLK stuff today. And if I don't talk to you before next Friday, I hope you guys have a good week. For those of you who aren't in school yet, I hope you guys have a great transition back into the school system. And you can always email me or call me if you need me.
Cool. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you guys. Everyone that's traveling, travel safe. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.